there has been rumblings that basically, Kelsey Plum wanted to get the hell away from them. Meaning Becky Hammond and AJ Wilson. And I'm here to tell you guys, it is looking like that way because none other than Kelsey Plum actually fired shots at the Las Vegas Aces.
Kelsey Plum didn't just pack her bags and leave Las Vegas. She torched the entire Aces kingdom on her way out. At her Sparks press conference and in a fresh chat with WNBA legend Sue Bird, she dropped the bombshell line, "I'm finally being treated better than I ever have in the WNBA." Let that marinate. That wasn't some polite tip of the hat to Los Angeles. It was a blade aimed right at the so-called super team she just bolted from. And if that didn't scorch enough earth, Plum doubled down in her sit-down with Sue Bird. She spelled it out crystal clear. She craved more responsibility, more trust, and Vegas wasn't giving it. Translation, A'ja Wilson hogged the spotlight. Becky Hammond co-signed it, and Plum was done playing backup vocals.
You really are about it. You really believe that you are as good as you think you are, and you really think you can impact winning at the highest level. There's only one way to find out. And kind of also too, you also have to have a coach that is like, no, that's exactly what I want.
And then came the quote that sent Vegas fans into a tailspin. In her own words, Plum said she needed a coach who would respond, "That's exactly what I want too." That's not just a career aspiration. That's a laser-guided jab at Becky Hammond's failure to unleash her. Think about it. One of the league's most lethal guards openly admitted she felt shackled under Hammond. And it's not just Plum. With multiple departures piling up, whispers are swirling that the shiny Aces dynasty is rotting from within. So, what's the real culprit? Becky's ego, A'ja's envy, or a front office convinced that slick branding can mask a slow-motion implosion?
Now, we know throughout the offseason there has been a lot of chatter behind the scenes in regards to the Las Vegas Aces. The Las Vegas Aces team was completely derailed at the conclusion of the season, which leaving a lot of people to speculate what the hell is going on in Vegas.
Here's where it gets juicy. Plum's exit isn't just personal. It's the first real fracture in the Aces' shiny armor. And make no mistake, she knew exactly what she was doing. That perfectly delivered press conference line wasn't some offhand remark. It was months of pent-up frustration sharpened into one surgical strike. She's broadcasting loud and clear. The Aces were never what they pretended to be.
First and foremost, I 100% had concerns when I first talked to Coach and Reagan, if we're going to be completely honest. And I will say every step of the way, they have not just met but exceeded my expectations. And I've been treated better than I've ever been as a WNBA player.
That's not casual praise, that's a ruling. Standing there draped in Sparks yellow, she painted her move as liberation while every Vegas fan heard it as proof that Hammond's so-called family culture was nothing but a facade.
I just feel like an overwhelming sense of love, I feel like open arms. I was actually in the airport this morning and I was just getting some water and the guy was like, "Go Sparks!" It's just, I feel that. So I'm excited about that because I really do feel like people have kind of already wrapped their arms around me. I haven't even played a game yet. Just the welcoming of my teammates and coach and Reagan and ownership, I feel very loved already.
Plum didn't stop there. She confessed she'd been itching for a shot at leadership, something the Aces never handed her. When asked point blank if she wanted to be the head of the snake, she didn't blink. She spelled it out. Los Angeles was giving her the keys Vegas never trusted her to hold.
What is it to be the leader? What is it to be the head of the snake? That kind of vibe. It was you just wanted to know. You needed to know.
Yeah, I would hate to have grandkids sitting on the couch and just being I wonder if I would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sounded creepy, but
no.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you don't want to regret. That's basically what you're saying.
See, in Vegas, Plum was treated like an accessory, a scoring option when it suited them, a puzzle piece but never the picture. In LA, she's the engine. And that contrast wasn't accidental. She was sketching the bold line between Aja Wilson's team and her new team.
And I'm so grateful to be reunited with Dee, to play with people like Cam and Rakia, and I can continue to go on the list.
And don't forget, the whole trade saga dragged on for months. This wasn't some heat-of-the-moment rant. This was a player biting her tongue, waiting for the perfect moment to drop her truth. And when the mic was finally hers, she didn't just take a shot, she emptied the clip. Even in her sit-down with Sue Bird, Plum spelled it out. She needed a coach who believed in her, pushed her, and handed her the green light. She found that in the Sparks. She never felt it with Becky Hammon. That's not rumor mill chatter. That's straight from Plum herself.
There's only one way to find out. And kind of also too, like, you also have to have a coach that is like, no, that's exactly what I want. And I give Lynn a ton of credit. Like, she's like, you're my person. Let's do this. And I was like, wow, okay. So I'm not crazy. At least maybe we're both crazy.
And let's be real, this isn't some bench warmer begging for playing time. Last season with the Aces, Plum dropped 17.8 points, 4.2 assists, and 2.6 boards a night. She delivered, game in and game out. But Hammond's system, it wasn't built for her. It revolved around keeping Aja Wilson center stage, with everyone else stuck in orbit. LA flipped that script on day one. Now, Plum isn't just another piece behind Aja or Chelsea Gray. She's the face of the franchise. And that's more than validation, it's liberation.
I've been treated better than I ever have been as a WNBA player. Now, that is the comment there that is raising eyebrows amongst fans in regards to Kelsey Plum, stating that she's been treated better so far than she has ever been as a WNBA player.
Fans clocked the subtext instantly. Social media exploded with takes, reading her words as a thinly veiled shot at the Aces. And let's be honest, it was. To many, it confirmed what had been whispered for months. Vegas's locker room wasn't nearly as golden as their trophies suggested. Behind the champagne showers and confetti, individuality was smothered and voices were muted. Plum's comments tore that mask clean off.
So, for all Aces fans, it's over. It's over. It's over. The reign of the Aces is over. I understand the shortest dynasty in the history of the sport of basketball. You know, I've never heard of a dynasty that won 2 championships and then was done. Because you're seeing all the ring-chasing free agents getting out of Vegas.
And here's the thing. When one of your stars confesses she felt muzzled, you know she wasn't the lone voice. Because right after Plum bolted, the Aces weren't just dropping games, they were shedding players. Departures came in flurries, and in no time, the league's untouchable powerhouse looked less like a dynasty and more like an empire mid-collapse.
Caitlin Clark's new Kobe PE shoe sold out in less than a minute. And I saw so many tweets about this, so many people who were so sad that they missed out on the shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner, like camping out, trying to get the shoe.
Nike just pulled off the biggest corporate facepalm of the decade, and Aja Wilson is absolutely livid. They poured mountains of cash into hyping up Wilson's brand, while Caitlin Clark lit up social media every single time she so much as laced her sneakers. Now, Nike's finally woken up.
Nike finally delivers Caitlin Clark PE. Is this the first Caitlin Clark exclusive Nike commercial since she's entered the WNBA? I know she's made a cameo here, she's made a cameo there, she was featured as part of this rollout here, featured as part of this rollout there, but is this our first official Caitlin Clark solo commercial.
They've spent years betting the farm on the wrong superstar. Now reality has slapped them in the face. And as they shift toward the woman who actually makes cash registers sing, Wilson's throwing a meltdown that's pure Broadway. Because let's be real, this drama isn't just about flashy sneakers. It's Nike finally admitting they wasted years backing the wrong face while Clark's mere presence crashes their website harder than your grandma on Facebook.
Caitlyn, and was thought to be a colorway made just for her up until just a couple days ago, where Nike's official images of the shoes got leaked and the announcement was made saying that everyone will now have a chance to wear her.
All right, let's pull up the receipts because numbers don't do sugarcoating. Aja Wilson's kicks? Yeah, they launched with hype, but reports say there's still so much stock it's basically headed for the clearance rack. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark strolls in, drops a Kobe collab before even having her own signature line, and 13,000 pairs disappear in about a minute. Not 5, not 10, literally 60 seconds. That wasn't a product drop, it was a full-blown feeding frenzy.
Well, I don't think I'd be in the wrong to say Caitlin Clark's Kobe is the sneaker of the week, and everyone's focus is mostly on this one. If you really wanted that shoe, I hope you put your footwork in, because there's supposedly only 13,000 pairs of sneakers out tomorrow. Combine that with a really high resale value, I expect this shoe to be a relatively difficult comp. But my hope seriously is that with Caitlin Clark's sneaker coming out, that this sets a precedent and we might see other exclusive player edition Kobe's drop for the public.
The Nike site didn't just lag, it basically waved a white flag. Secondary markets exploded instantly. When Caitlin Clark gear drops, it's like Black Friday on steroids. Meanwhile, Wilson's line is gathering dust, quietly getting escorted to the clearance rack.
These things is some fire. I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there is fire, and these things is hitting so hard. And who got a bot? Who a shoe plug? Because I need 2 pairs. I need one for the sneaker wall, and I need one for my feet, because these things is hitting right here. No, I don't want to pay $600 on Go.
Now, here's the real juicy part. Nike spent 2 whole years pampering Aja Wilson's sneaker line. They gave her the royal treatment. Custom logos, hand-picked designs, personal touches everywhere. Celtic symbols to honor her parents, grandma's favorite sayings on the sole, you name it. It wasn't just a basketball shoe, it was basically a family scrapbook you could wear.
I lost all respect for Aja Wilson. I don't want to hear her opinions. I don't care what she has to say from this point on. When you keep a Nike deal 2 years in secret while you're spewing all that crazy stuff about Caitlin Clark in the Time magazine, read it. Read what she said in the Time magazine. Yet you had a Nike deal the whole entire time.
Meanwhile, Caitlin's still rocking repurposed Kobe's. No personal logo, no signature line yet. And somehow they outsell Wilson's handcrafted masterpieces by ridiculous margins. Nike handed Wilson every toy in the chest. Yet Clark's hand-me-downs break the internet without even trying. It's almost tragic.
So it's finally here. Caitlin Clark sneakers from Nike is finally dropping. She was signed to them last year, and the sneakers is a year late in my opinion, but nonetheless I'm excited because these sneakers is finally coming out. But what does annoy me a little bit is that this is a collaboration with Kobe. Now, Kobe, respect to Kobe, the legend, rest in peace, great basketball player. But in my opinion, Caitlin Clark is a big enough star and she's creating her own legacy. So I feel like, at least for her first sneaker, it shouldn't be a collaboration with any other player, dead or alive, in my opinion. I feel like Caitlin should have, for her first shoe, had her own original design just for her.
And we've got to talk about the giant pink elephant in the room, Aja Wilson's Me First energy. This is someone hustling harder for personal accolades than most politicians during campaign season. She finally got her custom kicks, her cryptic logo no one gets, her sleek Nike ads even directed by Malia Obama. And yet, she still acts like the universe owes her a standing ovation. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark just steps on the court, sinks a casual 30-footer, and oops, she's Nike's biggest female cash cow since MJ. Wilson's out here loudly demanding her flowers, while Clark quietly builds an empire just by existing and being incredible at basketball.
And all this was done while the shoe's being developed, while the collection's being done. To demonize Caitlin Clark and try to label her as a privileged white girl that's getting all the privileges, even though she earned everything she got. This ain't about color. This is about good and bad. And I find this a little evil. I find this evil. This is beyond bad, because you had the ability to speak up and say, hey, everybody, relax. Don't get on Caitlin Clark. She got a shoe deal. That's cool. I got one too. Mine's taking a little bit, but it's going to come out. Just be patient. She could have came out and said that, but she didn't.
The best part? Nike tried so hard to make Aja happen. They handed her a $20 plus $1 million extension, built entire ad campaigns around her so-called diamond in the rough vibe, and pushed her story like a telemarketer on a triple shot of espresso. But here's the truth. You can't manufacture what Caitlin naturally has. Clark signed her own 8-year, $28 million deal and instantly became Nike's most powerful female brand without them lifting a single extra marketing finger. Every time she steps on the hardwood in Nike gear, it's a multi-million-dollar commercial. No storyboard needed. Wilson needs stylists, script writers, and choreographed promos. Clark just needs a ball and a hoop, and she's printing money.
Nike just released a brand new commercial featuring Caitlin Clark and her new Kobe shoe that she released today. And I saw this commercial yesterday on social media. I thought it was so cool. There's a shot when she's in the locker room and she opens her eye and it like turns into what looks like a snake eye, but when you zoom in, it's actually the Kobe logo.
This is where Aja Wilson's entire fantasy crumbles. Caitlin Clark personally generated an estimated $82 million in economic impact for the state of Iowa alone. That's right, $82 million. All thanks to a 23-year-old kid from West Des Moines who decided to rewrite the NCAA record books with fire. Her influence is so massive, it's practically a cultural meteor strike. Meanwhile, Nike's execs must be kicking themselves for ignoring the female version of Michael Jordan sitting right in front of them, while they tried to sell us a different story with Wilson. The writing was neon bright from day one, but Nike was too busy checking boxes on their social justice spreadsheet to notice.
It up, shot won't fall. Wilson, what looks like over the back. Oh boy. Jump ball is the call. Wow. Stephanie White's upset about that. That was over the back. Wow. Watch this. That's a jump ball?
Apparently, that was ruled a jump ball, at least according to the official score sheet. You remember the play. Lexi Hull boxed out with textbook form, firmly holding her position, when Aja Wilson came crashing in over her back, swiping at the ball. Somehow, the refs called that a 50-50 ball. But you saw it. The broadcast crew was stunned. Coaches were irate. For thousands watching at home, that moment confirmed a growing suspicion. This wasn't just a bad call, it lit the fuse. It captured a deeper issue players and coaches have been quietly protesting for months. And now, thanks to this viral clip, pressure for an official investigation is building fast.
But this was a big win for the Fever because the Aces were the only team that they had not won at least one game to last season, meaning the Aces swept the Fever last season. They actually haven't won a game against the Aces in 16 games. And they did it without Caitlin Clark. This team is crazy. They are beating the #1 team in the league first. And then they go and beat the Aces, who they haven't won to in 16 games. And they did it without Caitlin Clark, which is just a testament to how this team is finally developing a rhythm.
The players have had enough. and the league is finally starting to feel the heat, especially with the collective bargaining agreement looming. You can see it in their frustrated reactions on the court, hear it in the tension in their voices, and watch it in coaches practically exploding from the sidelines. This isn't about one missed call. It's a quiet uprising against a league that's allowed biased, inconsistent officiating to fester. Today, we're unpacking how this single play became the flashpoint of a rebellion, using the league's own data to expose just how deep the issue runs, and why the WNBA is now facing a crisis of credibility it can't ignore. Let's rewind and break down the moment that lit the fuse.
And Aja Whistle Wilson. My God, you see how many free throws that lady had? Oh my God, on the stat sheet she had basically 30 points, but all the free throws this woman got, man, they tried their best to keep the Aces in the game, man, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter, man. They destroyed the Aces. About freaking time the Fever finally beats the Aces, man, and without Caitlin Clark.
Even the commentators, usually masters at tiptoeing around criticism, were stumbling over their words, trying to make sense of it in real time. Because at its core, the play was as basic as basketball gets. Every kid who's ever laced up knows this. You get between your opponent and the hoop, you box out. That space is yours, period. Lexi Hull did everything right. She sealed off Wilson, held her ground, and got into perfect rebounding position. Wilson, on the other hand, skipped the fundamentals, lunged over Hull's shoulders, made obvious contact, and blew up the play. That's a textbook over-the-back foul. 99 times out of 100, that's Indiana Fever ball. Easy.
Tremendous three and the league at 50% shoot the three, girls are charged.
Except apparently not. Instead, the refs blew the whistle and called a jump ball, a decision so backwards, so against every rule of basketball, it felt like reality glitched. This wasn't a borderline call or some murky gray area. It was a blatant foul that somehow turned into a reward for the player who committed it, handing the ball right back to Las Vegas via the possession arrow. And that was all it took. This short, undeniable, crystal-clear clip instantly became the rallying point for every fan complaint about officiating this season. No more gut feelings or scattered theories. This was proof, and worse, it was just the most glaring example of a pattern fans had already been watching unfold.
This defense is playing phenomenal. Oh my God, it's night and day. I think that Commissioner's Cup gave them swag. Now they're swagging it out. I never seen Natasha Howard so aggressive in my life. This girl is beasting now all of a sudden. She is beast moding right now. And Timpson, the rookie, getting block shots, getting steals. Leah Boston is just murking, destroying Aja Wilson. Man, you know, I got a Wilson. I got a nickname for Aja Wilson, guys. You know what it is? Whistle Wilson. Because this lady's always getting whistles. She's the person with the special whistle, guys. Every freaking time. And then she goes to the free throw line. Freaking free throw merchant. I think she's related to SGA. But anyway, she's not playing that great.
Because when you zoom out from that one play, it fits into a much larger, more troubling pattern. Fans even have a name for it. Whistle Wilson. And it's not just a Twitter punchline. It's practically a grassroots analytics movement now. The most dedicated WNBA watchers have been tracking Aja Wilson's every minute, logging every soft call and every no call she gets away with. And this game put it all in the spotlight. The numbers are jaw-dropping. Wilson went to the free throw line 13 times. The entire Indiana Fever roster, 12 players, 4 quarters, got there only 17 times. One player nearly matched an entire team's total on her own. Let that sink in.
The Aces tried to put a little run together to start the third quarter, and Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull shut that down. They shut it down by hitting some big shots. All right, that steal led to the only 2 points that Sophie Cunningham had, but it was big. So right here, let's start Aaliyah Boston right here. That's Sydney Colson to Boston. She going to drive into the lane.
Wilson.
And I've got to tell you, she gave Asia Wilson all she could handle.
And this wasn't just online noise. It was unfolding in real time on the broadcast. The commentators couldn't ignore it. Even as they tried to stay composed, they admitted it outright. The whistles were clearly favoring one side. One analyst put it bluntly, they're trying to keep Vegas in it. Another added more carefully, but didn't deny it. Even the seasoned pros, usually careful with their words, had to call out the obvious. Superstars like Wilson are playing with a completely different rulebook.
Asia Wilson, she got a favorable whistle in the second half, but it is what it is. Superstars get the whistle. Unless your name is, 29 points for Asia Wilson, 3 boards, 3 personal fouls, 3 turnovers, 9 for 18 from the field goal, from the field, 11 for 13 from the free throw line. Look at the rest of her team. 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, 6 points, 0 points, 4 points, 2 points, 3 points. Dana Evans, 1 for 10, Dana Evans. Oh my goodness.
Superstars get the whistle. The commentators said it like it's just a fact of the game. But that kind of acceptance is exactly what's eroding trust. Because when fans start to believe the WNBA's biggest names are shielded by invisible layers of special treatment, it chips away at the core belief that games are decided by skill and grit, not by who the refs choose to favor. That jump ball debacle wasn't just a missed call. It was a chilling confirmation of every fan's worst fear, that outcomes might be shaped by biased officiating, not by what actually unfolds on the court. So what do you think? Is the special whistle real? Drop your take below. I want to see where everyone stands.
Is there just kind of a sense maybe in the locker room that like some of the success you've had over the last week could prove to be your big breakthrough or kind of maybe a turning point for you guys for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all feeling good. I think the energy's high. Really good win in Minnesota. Had a chance to celebrate together. I think that only helps our chemistry. All that stuff off the court definitely fuels us. We're having fun with each other. We're having fun together playing. So I think it is. I think this is a good moment for us. And, especially we're playing without one of our best players. So to do that in those circumstances, we're really just proud of ourselves.
The Las Vegas Aces, the self-proclaimed unstoppable dynasty of the WNBA, just got served a harsh dose of reality in front of the entire basketball world. A 27-point blowout. Check. Asia Wilson getting every favorable whistle under the sun and still crashing and burning. Big check. Chelsea Gray, hilariously hyped by some as superior to Caitlin Clark, disappearing in crunch time. The biggest check of all? While Asia was out there dragging players down from behind and somehow dodging fouls like a magician, there was a squad in Indianapolis putting on a clinic in what true, unselfish, high IQ basketball is all about.
The Indiana Fever just beat the Aces. The first win for the Indiana Fever against the Las Vegas Aces since I was 22 years old.
Because that 81-54 clinic the Indiana Fever put on wasn't just a loss for Vegas. It was a declaration. A glowing neon billboard blazing in bold Fever red screaming that no stack of referee freebies, no dramatic stat chasing from Wilson, and definitely no dynasty fairy tale was going to save them when Indiana made the decision to tighten up and play some real, cohesive, connected basketball.
And Asia Wilson. My God, you see how many free throws that lady have? Oh my God, on the stat sheet, she had basically 30 points, but all the free throws this woman got, man, they tried their best to keep the Aces in the game, man, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter, man. They destroyed the Aces. About freaking time the Fever finally beats the Aces, man, and without Caitlin Clark.
Now, let's zoom in on the moment this clash really ignited. In the third quarter, Lexi Hull, who's been the embodiment of grit and steady progress all season, boxed out Wilson so flawlessly it could be featured in a coaching clinic. She claimed her space, planted her hips with precision, and pulled down that rebound like she's rehearsed it 1,000 times. Pure fundamentals. Then came Asia Wilson, swooping in from behind, literally stretching over Lexi's shoulders and arms in a desperate, obvious grab for the ball. A move so egregious, it should be immortalized in a what not to do highlight reel.
Up, shot won't fall. Wilson, what looks like over the back. Oh boy, jump ball is the call. Wow, Stephanie White's upset about that. I thought that was over the back. Wow, watch this. That's a jump ball?
Ask anyone who's seen even a single AAU game, and they'll confirm that's an over-the-back foul. Indiana ball, play on, end of story. But the refs? Nope. They chose to rewrite the rulebook right there on live television. Somehow, defying all reason, they ruled it a jump ball. As if Wilson had some equal right to that rebound after barreling into Hull from behind, like it was a free-for-all.
But this was a big win for the Fever because the Aces were the only team that they had not won at least one game to last season, meaning the Aces swept the Fever last season. They actually haven't won a game against the Aces in 16 games. And they did it without Caitlin Clark. This team is crazy. They are beating the #1 team in the league first. And then they go and beat the Aces, who they haven't won to in 16 games. And they did it without Caitlin Clark, which is just a testament to how this team is finally developing a rhythm.
Even the broadcast crew couldn't mask their disbelief. Their commentary swung between stunned silence and uneasy laughter as they tried to wrap their heads around what they were witnessing. The contact was blatant. The foul couldn't have been more clear. Yet somehow, the officials managed to neutralize it in a way that outright rewarded the very player who committed the violation.
It's a foul, it's your third. Let's see all. Tremendous three at the base. The league at 50% shoot the three, draws for charge.
But here's where it gets downright poetic. The Indiana Fever didn't fold or sulk. They didn't let the wobbly officiating throw them off course. They brushed it aside, locked in, and went on to dismantle the Aces so thoroughly that every sketchy call became nothing more than background noise. Let's break down exactly how Indiana flipped what could have been a Vegas momentum shift into a lopsided masterclass in beautiful, connected basketball.
I think everyone's coming in with a level of focus every day, just right now knowing that, we do have a target on our backs and making sure that we're locked in on everything we're doing in practice. But I think we're taking that energy that we have, that fun, that lightheartedness into practice because at the end of the day, this is a game. We want to have fun, and I think we play our best basketball when we're playing free and having fun and being joyful and playing together.
From the opening quarter, Indiana came out swinging. They poured in the first 6 points and never let up. By the end of the first, they were cruising with a 21-4 lead. Already you could sense the game slipping out of Vegas's grip. Indiana shot close to 53%, held the Aces to under 29%, and dominated them 16-4 in paint points. At that moment, it was obvious. This wasn't going to be the Aces' night to shine.
Indiana has not beaten Las Vegas since the 2019 season. That's Howard, the Commissioner's Cup MVP, has us on the board. Here is Boston right up the middle, untouched.
Drive, gives it to the roller, Howard, and she scores from the middle of the paint. Timeout, Becky Hammond.
Couple of Gamecocks going head-to-head. I mean, there's some physicality right there.
We're really disciplined to the details, and we're playing with a high effort.
But it was in the second quarter that the Fever went straight for the jugular. They outscored Vegas 25-10. That's not a typo. 25-10. Indiana scorched the nets at an unreal 82% clip, while Vegas stumbled to a miserable 24%. The Fever went a perfect 6 for 6 in the paint. The Aces, a sad 3 of 13, By halftime, it was 46-24. And let's be real, game over. And that controversial jump ball, it came right when Vegas desperately needed a miracle to get back in it. The refs basically threw them a lifeline, gifting them a possession they didn't earn and tossing them a chance to flip the momentum.
We've been preaching this all season, being very disciplined and intentional with our actions. On both ends of the floor, we're doing that. And it's a high level of activity all over the place. I'm really proud of the girls.
All smiles for the Fever through 20 minutes. It's a 22-point lead for the Fever. Indiana in front of Las Vegas, 46-24.
For the Fever, it could have been one of those unraveling moments, but they didn't flinch. Lexi Hull did everything right and still got snubbed, the kind of thing that usually tilts young teams. Not this time. Vegas got a bailout call and a sliver of hope, but Indiana slammed the door shut. By the fourth, it was a full-on demolition. The Aces scored just 7 points, 7. Final score, 81-54, and even that feels generous. Aja Wilson's stat sheet sparkled, but the game told a different story. Despite all the whistles in her favor, Vegas got run off the court. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, Lexi Hull, and the Fever didn't just win, they sent a message. The league's balance of power is shifting, and everyone just watched it happen in real time.
What Aja Wilson just did was unprecedented. I mean, on so many levels. She's arguably, allegedly, the reason Caitlin Clark was assaulted the entire 2024 basketball season in the W. I mean, what Aja Wilson just did is really like, there's no coming back from this.
Aja Wilson's squeaky clean, positive vibes only persona just took a massive hit, and honestly, it's about time people started noticing the double standard. For months, she played the role of the calm, collected veteran, while her fans were waging war on Caitlin Clark over the Nike signature shoe deal. But now, the truth is out. During the reveal of her highly anticipated shoes, Aja casually dropped a bombshell. She'd had a Nike signature deal in the works for 2 years. 2 entire years, all while her fans were out there demanding justice, accusing Nike of blatant disrespect, and painting Caitlin as the undeserving rookie golden child. Aja's deal was already locked in, and yet she kept quiet. She said nothing while her supporters created chaos.
Wilson was oddly silent, but complicit. All right, why was she complicit? Because, well, she knew she was getting a signature shoe for 2 years, and she let Caitlin Clark take all that hate.
Let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Social media nearly exploded when Nike announced that Caitlin Clark would be getting a signature shoe. The big question on everyone's mind was, how could they give her one before Aja? That became the rallying cry. And where was Aja in all of this? Silent, calm, strategic. She threw out a few cryptic tweets about respect, kept her followers guessing, and allowed the chaos to build. She knew exactly what people were saying. She saw the narrative unfolding, and she did nothing to stop it. Remember when she said this?
Aja Wilson is her name. Quote, "It doesn't matter what we all do as black women, we're still going to be swept underneath the rug. That's why it boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because it is."
Let's be real. If the roles were reversed, and Caitlin had a shoe deal in the works for 2 years, but allowed the world to drag Aja through the mud without stepping in to correct the record, she would be absolutely crucified. Articles would be written non-stop, and the talking heads would have a field day. But when Aja does it, suddenly it's all smiles and, oh, she's just so humble. No, that's not humility. It's manipulation. Aja allowed Caitlin to take all the heat, using it to fuel a sympathy campaign built on a lie.
Do you have any ideas what you would want your future sneaker to look like?
I think the biggest thing for me is just I would love a low top shoe. I play in a low top shoe, so that's something that I would love to have carry over. And something that looks good. That's so key to me.
The truth is, Aja Wilson could have ended this entire drama with just one tweet. Something as simple as, "My time is coming. Don't worry about me." That's all it would have taken. The mob would have calmed down, and the attacks would have faded away. But she didn't say anything, because staying silent worked in her favor. She allowed her fan base, and let's be honest, a significant portion of the WNBA media, to paint Caitlin Clark as the villain, the rookie stealing all the credit, while she played the part of the overlooked underdog. It was all a performance.
A'ja Wilson, who? Why? Yeah, she's some WNBA player, who? No, she's one of the all-time greatest players ever. Why?
And now that the shoe has finally dropped, literally, all those "How dare Nike." Warriors are scrambling to rewrite history, but here's the twist. The disrespect never came from Nike. It came from A'ja and the people around her who allowed the false narrative to spiral out of control. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, who's done nothing but elevate the league and attract millions of new fans, has had to take hits from all sides. On the court, on social media, from players, and even from legends. And through it all, she's kept her head down, letting her game do all the talking.
And these WNBA fans that did not want to see Caitlin Clark come in and do what she did, which was dominate the league. Led the league in assists as a rookie. After the season, I think I counted she broke something in the neighborhood of 63 records last year. Either rookie records or just flat records by anybody, not even a rookie. And all these fans have been mad. And all the while, A'ja Wilson sat back and was just plenty happy to play the victim. She could have come out and made some kind of a statement that would have called off the dogs.
Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson, who could have easily set the record straight at any point, chose silence. And that silence spoke louder than anything. It sent a clear message to her fan base. Go ahead, it said, let them believe I've been slighted. It said, let Caitlin take the heat. And that's what makes this whole saga so frustrating, because it's not just about shoes. It's about the way Caitlin Clark has been treated from the very start.
And so for Nike to put her in the position where she then has to go on social media and kind of cool her fans and like urge them to be patient and almost like defend Nike, it's such a disappointment, but it's not a surprise because Nike has done it before.
Instead of being embraced as the generational talent she is, Caitlin Clark faced jealousy and resistance. Not because she did anything wrong, but because she made the league too visible, too quickly. Her impact was undeniable, and instead of celebrating it, people tried to tear her down. A'ja Wilson could have been the bridge, the leader, the example, but she chose vibes over values.
How could they give Caitlin a shoe before they give A'ja one? Oh, how could they do this? How could they treat A'ja like this? Two-time MVP at the time, just before she even won the damn third one. They is wrong for doing this. You want to know?
And let's not act like the timing of that Super Bowl ad was just a coincidence. Nike ran a huge campaign celebrating female athletes and somehow forgot to include the most influential woman in basketball right now, Caitlin Clark. Clark, whose jersey sales shattered records. Clark, whose games led the league in viewership. Clark, who brought in fans who had never even cared about the WNBA before, but she was nowhere to be seen. Almost as if someone didn't want her in the spotlight, at least not for a little bit longer.
You want to know what I'm selling? I'm selling greatness! A'ja Wilson, 3-time MVP. We got Jordan Childs, we got Juju Watkins, we got Sha'Carri Richardson.
Okay.
And we got Arena Sabalenka.
Champion.
Hustling is not easy, but I love it. Sabrina, I know you want to cheat. Thinking about it? You're thinking about it. They're gonna go fast, kind of like Sha'Carri. I accept card. Where's the card? Come on.
Oh wait, but what's in that box?
These don't come out till March. They may or may not be shirts, but if I tell you, I'm gonna have to kill you. Oh, you want one of these? Nike.com. Who wants a t-shirt?
Nike really thought they could pull one over on us with that last-minute voiceover trick, as if we wouldn't notice. But fans are too sharp for that. We all saw it. It wasn't some editing accident, it was intentional. That awkward voiceover was essentially Nike saying, we love the revenue she brings in, but let's keep her out of the spotlight. Subtle? Not even close.
My favorite thing of all. So let's take a listen to this. Let's take a listen to this. Nike actually put this one out after the fact.
You want to know what I'm selling? Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark. I know you want a tee.
Okay.
Nike.com.
They re-recorded it. Like, that's not even, I mean that. That's like, listen to it.
And how does that make any sense? We're talking about Caitlin Clark here, the woman who hasn't just moved the needle, she is the needle. She's bringing in NBA-sized crowds, skyrocketing TV ratings, and completely redefining what's possible for women's basketball. Yet somehow, the WNBA and some of its most established names keep treating her like just another player on the roster. They're quick to cash in on the wave she's created, but when it comes to acknowledging her impact, crickets, silence, maybe even a little side-eye.
Not looking good for Nike yet again, dog. I don't even know how many videos I'm gonna make today about Nike, but it looked like Nike is definitely the star of the day. All started with the Super Bowl commercial, them snubbing Caitlyn, them putting Caitlyn in, them fixing the commercial, them dropping Asia's shoe. Now, come to find out, Asia Wilson has single-handedly killed the WNBA media credibility forever. Yes, oh my goodness, these women was lying. Oh God almighty. They made such a big deal over Caitlin Clark getting a shoe deal over Asia.
Let's be real. Caitlin Clark should be the face of every WNBA campaign, every endorsement push, and every highlight reel. But instead of celebrating her success, the league has chosen to simply tolerate her presence. She's been treated like an outsider who stumbled into the party and is now outshining the hosts. And that cold shoulder? It's not just coming from execs or marketing departments, it's coming from the top players too. Enter Asia Wilson. Asia didn't need to be openly hostile. She didn't tweet anything nasty or start a public feud, but she also didn't do a thing when her fan base relentlessly went after Clark the moment Caitlyn landed her Nike deal. Chaos erupted on social media, with people questioning Caitlyn's worth, her resume, and her entire place in the league. Meanwhile, Asia just sat there, perfectly quiet, perfectly strategic, letting the storm rage on while sipping her tea in the background.